Hello and welcome as we reach the 19th Sunday after Pentecost. The homily today is based on Paul's letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, and I've called it No Worries, No Worries. When I was young, and this probably dates me quite a bit, it was a thing to have an autograph book and to collect signatures from people, famous people if you possibly could, or to collect these kind of strange, cringy little sayings about life from family or friends. My little autograph book is full of them. And when I was 8, my uncle wrote in my book, "Be good, sweet maid, let those who will be clever." And feminists would have a field day in that one, with that one, of course. But my mother, about the same time, wrote in my little book, and I've never forgotten it. Whenever you think you're in a fix, then read Philippians 4 and 6. Into all our perplexity and our confusion, into all the things we don't know and can't see, into all the anxiety and the frustration and the isolation of this COVID world, into all our worries about the economy and jobs and the future, into all these things, we hear St. Paul's words written to the Philippian church. Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Right at the very heart of Christian faith are those great gifts of joy and peace and hope, gifts that are offered to us in all circumstances. Whenever you feel you're in a fix, just read Philippians 4 and 6. This injunction to not worry, to not get anxious, is repeated over and over again throughout Scripture. It's always the first thing angels say when they appear to people, don't be afraid. It's the words Jesus says to his disciples when they're stuck in a boat in the middle of a storm and they're terrified, or when he appears to them after the resurrection, don't be afraid. This isn't some strange Pollyanna view of the world. For those who remember the Pollyanna stories, or perhaps the movie, she was always blindly optimistic. She was always glad, was the expression she used, no matter what happened to her. Now, this instruction in this chapter of St. Paul's letter to the Philippians isn't about a forced gladness. It's about hope in the goodness of God. It's about trust that God is with us and knows us, knows all our circumstances, knows all our fears. It's about trust and hope that God hears us and that God works for the good in us and works for us always. God is always on our side. That is the source of our hope and our confidence. Anxiety is perhaps one of the greatest health issues in our world, and it can absolutely consume us if we let it. But Paul reminds us here in these lovely words from Philippians 4 and 6 to turn towards God when we're in a fix, rather than turning away, or rather than going inside where fear can just completely overwhelm us and drown us. So how do we live this kind of life? Is it actually possible? What are the things that help us to live this way? In this 4th chapter of his letter to the Philippians, Paul writes, "Finally, beloved, whatever is true, whatever is honourable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence and if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." These are all kingdom things. The things Jesus has been talking about in parables over the past few weeks. The only things that Paul left out of this list might be whatever is surprising, whatever is unexpected. These are also signs of the kingdom. It's so often through those things, the surprising and the unexpected, that God speaks to us. We need to keep our eyes open for these surprising kingdom things along the way, things that teach us the way of Christ. And above everything, things that help us to set aside our worries and our anxiety and to trust and not be afraid. Whenever you feel you're in a fix, just read Philippians 4 and 6. The Lord be with you.